So yesterday I went to go watch Minecraft the movie by myself, and I didn't really have a good time. Last week I reviewed Harley Quinn farts, which is very fitting for this video because that was probably the smelliest theater I've ever been in. Anyways, Minecraft the movie exists to be purely fan service and nothing more. A lot of this movie's humor is lol random, a style of comedy that is very much humorous because when you do something out of the ordinary, it's very silly and thus comedic. Both the plot and dialogue were already indications that this movie honestly feels like a decade and a half outdated, and the comedy really hammers that home. There was also this very odd scene where Jason Momoa's character just decides to whip it out and then proceeds to chase after the little boy character. Apparently that wasn't in the script, which makes sense. Momoa is a method actor, truly embracing the persona of a real Minecraft YouTuber. And yes, that definitely totally happened. If you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Most of the jokes are just saying goofy words, and that's coming from Jack Black. The only time I remember laughing is the scene where the main pig villain tries to trick Jack Black into coming closer because she has something to tell him. Jack Black then calls her out for trying to deceive him, and she feebly tries to stab him, only to fail. And that got a chuckle out of me. Weirdly enough, they do the same exact joke right after, and surprisingly, it still landed even though I saw it coming. So the movie is somewhat self-aware about how corny it is, but just being self-aware doesn't in itself make it above the other movies it's trying to make fun of. Minecraft the movie does feel like it came out during the 2010 era of family films. I feel like even the Jumanji movies knew how to modernize their jokes and still keep it somewhat family friendly. So the comedy was kind of a miss. How about the characters? The little boy character is hyped up to be this super creative kid who's wicked smart, and at first it looks to be that way, seeing how he can create a jetpack with random things he finds around his school. But when he gets transported into Minecraft world, where the possibilities are endless, and then Jack Black's character introduces him to the crafting table, he decides the most creative thing that he can think of is a gun that shoots tater tots. Boy, you're really stupid. Then there's the older sister. She wants to protect her brother, and that's about it. I really have nothing else I can say about her. There's the real estate agent slash animal trainer who also has zero personality. Can't really say much about these two. There's some drama sprinkled into this story, but it's pretty forced. The little boy character builds a jetpack at his school, like I said, and that jetpack malfunctions and ends up destroying the town's mascot on accident. The sister then brings up this terrorist attack when talking to Jack Black in the Minecraft world. The little boy happens to hear this and says, "Well, maybe I belong in this world." Yes, this is the mental hurdle our hero must leap over. The only time we see these two bond is through exposition, so forgive me if I'm not attached to this subplot. To add on to that, there's also this Enderman scene where the little boy's insecurities are yelling at him in the form of his friends. Again, this was never fleshed out, like at all. The characters hardly interact with each other besides snarky one-liners and the inevitable mid-2000s dance sequence at the end. Yep, this movie has one of those. And then of course we have the two biggest actors in this film, Jason Momoa and Jack Black, who play Jason Momoa and Jack Black. This is a pretty big spoiler, but Jason Momoa's character dies and it seems like nobody really gives a fuck. Not a single tear was shed after he sacrificed his sad, pitiful life. Maybe the main characters had the ability to see into the future because Jason Momoa, after almost being obliterated into 1,000 pieces by a creeper, comes back right at the end, the very last second when he's needed to save the day. I haven't seen that cliche in a while. And lastly, we have Jack Crack, who acts like a complete utter meth head in this movie. He partakes in lol random meme comedy. His acting is very over the top, but it's Jack Black. He's harmless, so who really cares? I mean, I enjoyed him on the screen. Reminded me of the older movies he used to make. It's another movie where he plays himself. Whatever. Oh yeah, I forgot. There is this completely unnecessary character who is the vice principal of the school the little boy goes to, who constantly talks about her divorce. But don't worry guys, she finds herself a new man. One of the villagers from the Minecraft world gets hit by her car, she takes him out to dinner, and then they go back to her place for some quote-unquote dessert. So yeah, this random lady background character fucks a Minecraft villager, and it's 100% pointless. I know the movie is already pretty short, but they definitely could have benefited from cutting this shit out. It has nothing to do with the other characters, the overall story. If you take out these scenes, nothing literally changes. The only thing more boring than the characters was the dialogue in itself. Well, sort of. Despite the sea of shit, when it came to cliched dialogue, there were a few diamonds in the rough. I mean, how could you not stand up and cheer to memorable one-liners such as, "First we mine, then we craft. Let's Minecraft."
Say that again?
I do have to admit, though, my original predictions of how the story would go was not even close. Don't get me wrong, the movie is still cliched, but I predicted the boy and the girl characters would get together at the end of the movie, only to find out that the girl character is an adult and they're siblings. Oops. But as I was watching the film, I kind of predicted the plot as it went on. Probably because this movie is for 5-year-olds and I'm pushing 40. However, sitting through the theater for an hour and a half became well worth it as soon as I saw the end credits scene.
Is it either one? Oh, what? Oh, it's Roblox! It's Roblox! It's Roblox!
When I saw Roblox on the big screen, I couldn't contain myself. I was crying. So much. Finally, the greatest game of all time is here, and in a couple years we'll be able to hear, what are we, some sort of Roblox on the big screen. So overall, it was a pretty good experience.